This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
I mean, doggone it, fellas. I'm not going to get Ken Patera on the bit here, but geez, oh, bezo, it's hard to solve difficult problems every day for breakfast when you're always right sizing the payroll. I think you got to move on from Correa, but gall darn, fellas, it's just getting doggone hard to get that chili hot.
Breaking news, the Minnesota Twins also just traded Section 124. So if you have tickets for Section 124, I'm sorry, but you are now rooting for the Seattle Mariners. Thank you, and good night.
Hey, do you guys remember the 2016 Silver Lining Minnesota Twins? Just wait till 2016. That's a silver lining. Well, now it's going to be Silver Lining 2036. Can't make it up. Move on this team. Get them out of town.
Dan, there are more season ticket holders than would fill CHS Field, and we've already got our tickets for this year. I've been a Twins fan most of my life and a season ticket holder for over 25 years, and I'm just going to ride the roller coaster until we get good again. At least the Twins have won 2 World Series. For all the rabid Vikings and Timberwolves fans, they can't say that. Beth in Minneapolis.
Guys love the show. I don't think it's a bad move to finally trade away some of these. Oh my God, why am I outside?
Oh, that's well played. Those are all excellent. I mean, our listeners are on a roll today.
It's a great day for talkbacks.
It actually is. It's a great day for the inbox.
Yes.
As well. That's coming up at 4:30. Lavelle, bonus Lavelle.
We have too many for the inbox. I mean, the inbox
it's on tilt.
I don't even know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best.
You're going to have to right-size the inbox.
I am going to have to right-size the inbox.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate position you're in. Those are all really good. And, box by Beth. I mean, you can say she's got a point. I mean, the fact of the matter is, among men's teams, it's the Minnesota Twins and everybody else. Even though, what's 1991? I can even do that math. 34 years ago? That's a long time.
My oldest son is older now than I was when the Twins won the World Series.
See? I'm wondering how many people are using those, wanting to use those season tickets. Because you pay for them, I guess. You carry it, as KG used to say. I wonder if the Twins would also consider the rest of the season stealing the A-Rod Mark Laurie idea, where if you're in like a premium seat, do you think there'd be any demand for people who actually do show up to say, hey, for an extra $10, you can be in the Champions Club for the last 4 innings?
They actually should.
And you might even see an everyday hitter or a player in the lineup on the mound pitching.
They should actually beta test it. I think was that what they say?
Yes.
They should call Alex and Mark and say, "Can we try that out?"
What's the name A-Rod used? It's a fancy with it and wow name for what they are
their company
experimenting with.
Yeah,
there's a name for the process.
Oh,
somebody will have it for us. Yeah, because the joke would have been better if I'd had the name of it. I couldn't remember the name of it. If you hadn't been paying attention, and there may be many of you curled up in the fetal position, refusing to go outside with the terrible air that we're dealing with right now. That was a nice callback to that earlier. The Twins continue to make deals, including for Carlos Correa. And Guardsy tells us that we're going to get one prospect back. That's it. And the obvious question is, of the about $100 million left on his deal, who's picking up what tab on that. It sounds as if Houston ultimately was willing to pay more than they were when talks allegedly broke down yesterday, but that the Twins are still paying something. Here's my guess. My guess is the Twins are paying $25 million, and Houston's paying the rest of it.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's the breakdown.
I was going to say maybe next season.
Well,
we'll pay him for the rest of this year and next year, so that'd probably be
possible.
about 45.
Well, that's more, yeah.
40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more.
That's still
sizable.
That would. I said earlier, I didn't think it should be 50-50 at all. I would, if in that on that occasion, I wouldn't trade him, and I'm still not sure I would do it if it ends up being 60-40, because then you're kind of back to, all right, he's not worth the money right now. He just isn't. Regardless of what you think about how cheap the poll ads are, he's not worth the money he's being paid. But if you have to pay half of it anyway, then are you better off saying, all right, we're going to count on the possibility, given his age, he's still not that old, that he can bounce back next season. And he certainly didn't seem to be clamoring to leave, right? I don't think we have much indication of that unless he was just playing that very slickly last few days.
There's a lot of tweets to go through, but I saw one where he did do an interview with somebody or have a conversation with somebody where he did mention that it was pretty clear that where the Twins are headed is not where he wants to head. So he did say, I'd love to go back to Houston.
Yeah.
Let's make that deal. Let's get that done. And that's probably part of the paltry return, in all honesty, too.
No doubt. Well,
and
that's, to me, another reason why, if that's all you're going to get, that's all you're going to get, you shouldn't have to pay more than $20 million of the remaining 100. To me, Houston has a right to say, if we're going to pay this much, then we're not giving you much back as a player. We're taking his salary off your hands. But that means to me, Houston's got to pay for most of the salary. If it's anything close to 50-50, I would not recommend that the Twins do it, even though I'm concerned that he might be done, in all seriousness. Dan, what's frustrating and stealing the term from the NBA is this team had what appeared to be a legitimate big three with Royce, Buck, and Correa. I get the players need to manage injuries and have to play well, but aside from that, this ownership did everything but build around the foundation. Team was poised for success, and they chose to go the opposite direction. Who's to say what the butterfly effect would have been had this ownership invested? There's a lot to think about there. The problem is there's very little reason to believe at this point that Royce Lewis is a cornerstone player. Now, you could say, he's still got time. He's young enough that maybe he figures some stuff out. But he's not that. He cannot be identified or be accused of being a cornerstone player right now. And frankly, Correa hasn't played like a cornerstone player. Now, to that extent, I'm not even sure if you're not getting a minimal performance from your so-called big three, if you want to describe them that way, then I'm not sure it matters what the rest of them do. On the other hand, again, the baggage associated with the ham-handed, tone-deaf, pathetic decision this team made 2 off seasons ago, that's where it ended for me. I didn't need any more evidence. That's what's weird about all this conversation today. That was where it ended for me. And I don't care about the TV deal, the regional TV deal. I don't, given the timing. You make that decision when you do it. I said a million times, it's their team. They can do it, but I'm here to tell you that it's a disastrous, even if you want to just think cynically, it's a disastrous business decision because of the tentacles to it, all the baggage associated with it. You never recover from that kind of move. Coming off a postseason in which you finally won a ball game, a postseason in which you finally won a series. You can't do it, no matter what the ledgers say about this money in, this money out. You can't. Not if you want to be, from that point forward, have any chance to be taken seriously as an organization. And to that extent, they've never recovered. Right? At any level from that. Now, they seemed to last year until they collapsed. And then it was easy to say, well, the people who were mad that they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, again, look at your main players. It wouldn't have mattered what they did. which again misses the point. That team did well enough that it deserved the opportunity to get some kind of support, especially after the decision to cut payroll by $30 million, and they still were performing well. And then you double down on the $30 million right size thing by acquiring one pitcher who lasted about 4 minutes and was obviously incapable of being anything close to a significant help. Bottom of the hour, the inbox. A lot of stuff that I intended to get to today, we're probably going to have to hold on to for all the obvious reasons because it is the A topic for today. Carlos Correa dealt back to the Houston Astros. Lavelle with some bonus time coming up at 5 o'clock. Maybe a little Lynx chatter. Showdown game last night. Was it really, given who was not in the lineup for the New York Liberty? We can talk about that and get into some other controversies as well. And the name Caitlin Clark might not even come up once.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, the Canadian wildfires are not, I repeat, not to blame for the smoke in the Twin Cities today. It's actually emanating from a dumpster fire at 1 Twins Way. Eric in Circle Pines. I've been outside at the cabin all day. Air quality hasn't impeded my outdoor projects or the wake surfers. The wake surfers. I had one more I wanted to get to. It all goes back to firing manager of the year, Paul Molitor. Maybe there's a curse on this team. Maybe there's some kind of a curse that we don't even know about.
It's a little frustrating.
612 guy, shouldn't Rocco be coaching them up? He needs to go.
We know it's not good baseball.
There's just a legion of people who just can't handle Rocco at all.
That's true.
It's remarkable.
That's true.
I still think that's all a little crazy, but that's just me. I haven't heard anybody from MnDOT explain the let's have consecutive exits blocked off for construction. Like, hey, here's what we do.
A little more expensive, but well worth it.
Let's give people trying to get up at either spot, and they're both pretty popular exits.
A lot of businesses.
Let's just not give them an option. They'll have to do it the hard way. And by the way, the detour signs that are up, they're not even consistent. They stop. So at first it says, well, here's what you do if you're trying to get off at either of these exits. Then it doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do to actually get to said detour.
Yeah, I was completely flummoxed.
Ridiculous.
And the line, because it snuck up on me today, I don't know if it's because we've been in Egan or if I've been coming from the U. I guess that could have been the case.
Yeah.
But I knew Louisiana was closed, but Park Place today completely threw me for a loop. So by the time I caught wind of all of it,
too late.
The line was long,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just said, I'm just going to Penn, whatever.
Well, maybe you start your column earlier.
That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
But I said, I have time. I'll go down to Penn. I was listening to the program. It was entertaining me. I said, why not? I'll just circle back.
Yeah, that's as good as what I did, basically. I did a circle back. I just picked a different road to do the circling. Inbox is coming up at the bottom of the hour. The Minnesota Lynx, I'm not even going to pretend to say it because they didn't exact revenge for losing Game 5 of the WNBA Finals last year. Very controversial finish. But they did win their first regular season game with the Liberty this year. We got 3 more coming in a hurry. This was the first. Didn't they have a major injury, though?
Brianna Stewart.
Stewart has what's described as a significant bone bruise in her knee. So she did not even dress. And we dominated, except for when we didn't. And then we allowed them late to score 11 in a row for Mike Yo. They cut it to 4 points with about a minute to go. And then Ms. Reliable, she took care of business. It's already clear, right? The MVP winner this year?
I think she's got to be.
Nafisa Collier?
Yeah, I think she's got to be.
She scored out. She made a great cut to the hoop and then got fouled on a layup and completed the 3-point play. That was essentially the ball game. I wish I know how to index better to give you specifics regarding the Sirius XM morning show, because Scalabrini riffed for like 2.5 minutes on why he loves watching Nafisa Collier play basketball.
I believe that.
And the problem is, I'm in a car or whatever, and it's like, what? And they kind of repeat the show.
They do.
It's on a wheel. It's
back
on
to back.
So it's like, well, is this hour 1? Is this hour 2? Or is this hour 3? He could not have been more analytical and interesting and complimentary about the way she moves without the ball, the actions that she's involved in. He was marveling at her, and it was one of those actions that the moment they needed it most, that then kind of took care of the fact that they seemed to be in trouble of actually choking on that game. And then they finish it comfortably after that. And so they win the first of, I think, 4. I think we now have a 4-game edge in the loss column over the Liberty, who are in second place when it comes to the standings for home ice advantage. Also, will you double check this, or maybe we've already confirmed it? I believe this year the WNBA finals are best of 7.
Okay.
I think we moved it again to best of 7, because who was on the ESPN call last night? It was the main crew.
Ryan Rucco.
I could have sworn I heard Rucco say, well, obviously for the Lynx, this could be big if there is a Game 7 in the WNBA finals. I assume that means we're moving from, and I thought I remembered that. The decision was made pretty quickly to make that change.
That is correct.
So for 2025, it ain't best of 5 anymore. It is best of 7, but you're still looking for where that last game is going to be played, correct?
Yes, and they'll do the same thing as the NBA 2-2-1-1-1.
That's the way to do it.
Yep.
In the old days, NBA, and this started largely because almost every year it seemed it was Boston and LA, to kind of curtail travel, because the NBA was very green back in those days. They said, here's what we're going to do. For the finals only, we're going to do 2-3-2. If you have home ice advantage, you'll get the first 2. The other team's going to get the next 3. So you better not split the first 2. And then if you can survive the 3 there, you get to have the last 2 at home. And I don't remember what year we switched back to where what it is now, which is 2-2-1-1-1, which I think is more equitable.
Yes.
Right?
It does feel that way.
Doesn't it feel that way? Feels that way to me.
Did you see, I think you did, the AI Pat Kessler with the Stone Arch dress that we asked for yesterday that somebody provided for us last night?
I did retweet that. How good was that?
I feel like that should be pinned forever.
Yeah, there's no question.
I tried to get people going. I was in a mood last night, too. I tried to get people going. I was tagging the broadcast team. I was tagging Kathy Engelbert. I was a rude...
Was she there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Probably a smart move on her part.
But I was a rube in my best and worst sense last night.
My guess is you're the sort of rube who would love to wear a T-shirt worn by, among others, none other than Angie Craig.
I saw this.
Did you see this one?
Yes.
Everyone watched Minnesota get robbed. Everyone watched. And interestingly, there's a black T-shirt with those words. There's a blue T-shirt with those words. Now, how many of those were made? Was it like for the first 10,000 fans?
I don't know. I don't know if that was a giveaway or if they had those.
I'm assuming that wouldn't be a giveaway. They'd probably get in trouble for that, I'm guessing.
I think they should be in the we don't give a bleep.
Well,
though.
yeah, I don't think... Well, I'd be shocked if they were willing to go that far.
No, they should.
I wouldn't have a problem with it, but there have been a number of snarky comments suggesting that this shirt might be apropos for a number of Minnesota-related scandals, including perhaps even feeding our future.
I'm surprised Joseph Thompson hasn't worn one at one of his many press briefings.
He probably has. That's very, very true, Davey. So, in any case, they did, again, that's a game that you sort of have to win with that injury, but then they did. And that's the most important thing. They shot ridiculously from 3. At one point, they were at 50. I think they were 13 for their first 26. I don't know where they ended up as a team, but they were at 500. The 3-point shooting was outstanding.
It's nice when McBride kind of gets hot.
100%. They're
She had a
different
couple
team
where it's just a couple of extra passes, and she's just catch and shoot, and they were money from the left wing, and that kind of gave them that big lead that they needed.
The greatest strength, I think, for them, again, I mean, I still think their greatest weakness potentially is rebounding against other teams that have that ability. But I think their greatest strength is still moving the ball. Their action, again, I'll try to talk like Scalabrine, not just with Collier. Their actions are really good. The ball does move. The only time it stops a little bit is with her, and you got to give her that leeway because she's very good with the ball, Nafisa. So, but overall, their offense, I think, is fun to watch. I know sometimes the defense slips a little bit, and that's where Cheryl loses her mind. Did you hear her pop-like moments with the in-game interview?
I did.
Yeah.
Right after halftime.
So she was doing there were 2 questions, and she gave, was it 1-word answer to the first one and a 3-word answer to the second one? Is that what it was? Something like that?
Yeah, I think because the first question was, how would you describe the chemistry? Yeah. Good. Or it's good. And then the second one was something else I don't even remember.
By the way, we're reminded, baseball does the 2-3-2, and in fact, Twins won both World Series exactly in that situation. They were lucky enough those years that they had the last 2. And I think in both, their record was perfect.
It was.
In games 6 and 7, they were 4-0.
Home field mattered back then.
It most assuredly did. You can mock the Metrodome all you want, but it housed a lot of very significant memories. We'll come back with Dr. Dan's Inbox bonus Lavelle reacting to the seismic shift involving one Twins way. The Twins are moving on from the Carlos Correa era. He will be at the top of the hour. Via Twitter, Chip Scoggins, Jimmy Pohlad once told me that his team had a total system failure. They now have a total system fire sale, and that fire sale continues. Willie Castro headed to Wrigley Field and the Chicago Cubs for, I assume, a prospect or 2. That's the latest deal. 30 minutes before the trade deadline, and among the media reports out, the Boston Red Sox putting on the full court press to try to steal Joe Ryan from the Minnesota Twins.
And with that, I need to go. I do appreciate your call, though. Thank you so
will
much.
Be a total system, not just power failure, but a total system trade sale, fire sale, I guess I should say. Also want to get the quote from Dan Hayes, who is quoting an unnamed Twin. Now no one wants to stay if they are selling like this.
Frustrating. Frustrating.
There you have it. That's the... all this does is, I hope to God, J.J. McCarthy improved by 4% at practice today, because all this does is put even a greater spotlight on your Minnesota Vikings. Right? It's just going to be, we're moving faster. We're moving on from the Twins even faster than we usually do. And God forbid if he is not up to the job. Any sign today that it went any better than it did yesterday?
Honestly, I have not checked in on one Vikings camp thing today because of all this.
Okay.
So I don't know. You better hope Kirill Kaprizov gets signed. Better hope Anthony Edwards takes another jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about the Vikes now.
612, Bo from Savage. Lynx will not need all 7 games this season.
Interesting.
The Lynx will not need all 7 games. Bonus Lavelle to react to a very tumultuous baseball day in the great state of Minnesota. But let's get to what Guardsy says is an especially active Dr. Dan's Inbox.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Need to start with an apology.
Okay.
Because we're not going to get to all of them that were sent in today. We're going to do our best, but we're not going to get to all of them.
Is this the record? Is this the most you've ever had?
I don't know if it's the record, but it's close.
Okay.
It's definitely in the ballpark, no pun intended. And we're going to start with 2 from the same individual written very similarly.
Okay.
Dear Dr. Dan, do you believe that our strategic divestiture of surplus assets has been effectively leveraged to enhance our long-term prospects and fortify our position for sustained future growth? Certain individuals of evidently limited intellectual acuity on social media platforms have cast aspersions upon my capacity to engage in effective discourse with the general populace, suggesting erroneously that my mode of expression is somehow disconnected from inaccessible to the vernacular sensibilities of the broader public. That from D. Falvey. This one...
It couldn't have been from anybody else.
Rocco, maybe.
That one was telegraphed.
Dear Dr. Dan, I'm hearing a lot of chatter and labeling about our organization today as we navigate the process that only we know and fully understand. Let me pivot to address the masses in a manner that will be understandable by those who are not in the process. As you know, we are in a cadence of evaluation and reevaluation during the trading deadline. Simply, our job is to evaluate what comes our way and navigate in any direction possible. Can't I make it any more simpler to the masses? Geez, that from D. Falvey.
Well, I'm glad actually that name came up because you and I have talked about this before, and I've asked the question that complicating all of the issues regarding sell or buy, this was much earlier before the Twins struggled after the All-Star break, was the Falvey factor. Knowing that, and to that extent, I mean, what really complicated it was the ownership cloud. So if you're D. Falvey, do these moves give you a better chance to remain in your position of power with a new owner, or a worse chance to do so? That, to me, is one of the most fascinating questions that kind of tended to get forgotten when we were all speculating about this the last few months. If you are, now, realistically, it might not matter because new owners tend to want to bring in their own people, as the A-Rod and Lori group suggest, although, in fairness, I mean, they're not making a change to the basketball side of the operation. They're making a change to the business side of the operation. But Dr. Dan's tried to mull this over, that if you're a new owner and you are disposed to keeping, at least in place for a while, the baseball operation, does this make you feel more or less comfortable? I guess it all depends on how you feel about prospects, right? And I don't even know how you could begin, again, to properly evaluate the prospects that the Twins have acquired through, what is it now? Is it 6 trades? What are we up to?
I think it's 7 players.
7 players?
Yeah.
Okay. That includes Dobnak?
I don't know if it includes them or not.
I'm not sure. Still miss him. Anyway, that to me is the one of the more fascinating parts of this thing. Now, I'm not saying that's why Falvey's making the moves he is, to give him, in his mind, the best chance to stay with a new regime. But I actually thought if you're trying to stay, you might be protective of some of the talent that you have. Because with the exception so far of one pitcher, most of these prospects are not going to be a factor for a minimum of 2 to 3 to 4 years. So to that extent, who knows where you'll be at that point. If you keep, even in a struggling season, some of your prime MLB talent, some of which you acquired, some of which you could argue helped develop, then does that actually make it more attractive? That's the open question. I don't know that we can answer it at this point. But we do know that when it comes to word salad, D. Falvey's gotten very good at it. Extremely good at it over the years. And let me also quickly add, the cautionary tale about getting excited about any of these prospects is the same reason I, for years, have said, don't let the ball guys deceive you. When we hear these stories about, my God, do you know what Baseball America thinks of the Twins farm system? Do you realize how good we are and what we've developed? And where are we with that? Nothing. Very little has been. You could say in the bullpen things have developed a little bit, but our young talent, it's not like we've had 2 or 3 or 4 people you go, God, look at this new nucleus. This just hasn't happened. And that's because those are nothing but best guesses. It's happened with the Wild. We went through this a few years ago, long before Guerin was here with the Wild. Oh, the Suda Parisi heyday. Wait till the young core we've got. They're the envy of the rest of the league. The Wild's minor league system. How'd that work out? Worked out so well, they got 2 more general managers fired. So, it's a reminder that some of these guys may work out, but it's very much a guessing game and a crapshoot. And that's the sad reality. When you trade now with contending teams, rarely, if ever, they're going to give you a good player on that team because they're going for something, right? So then you are stuck with how many good prospects can we get? And even if we get a bunch of good prospects, how many of them can actually work out?
We are in historic territory with this day, with this trade deadline day. I'm getting texts and DMs and Twitter from people all over the country.
Really?
Like in sports radio.
Wow.
Going, what the hell is going on there?
Well, have they been paying attention to this organization at all?
Well, yeah, they have, but I just think...
But
just trading everybody, This is crazy. And not crazy
Joe Ryan might be gone by the next 17
5 minutes. I know.
Yeah.
It's time for Dr. Dan's.
Yeah, I'm trying to monitor that and this. Multitask. Why not?
We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, what the bleep happened to the Twins today? Are they trying to lose or just clearing the books to put towards that $400 million loan they have to get full sale price for? Honestly, this bleeping Polat family reminds me of that fraud V. McMahon. You know who I do feel bad for other than myself all the time? The Twins fans. They don't bleeping deserve this, nor do the remaining players. I don't know if you know this or not, Dr. Dan, but I am 10 years older than H. Hogan and still kicking. Jay Ryan should take a note out of my book and tell Jay Phil's the truth. You can't afford, nor do you want to pay me. I can't wait to tell these P family folks to bleep off and don't let the door hit you. And speaking of clown organization, I think my old buddy Doink might be available to bat cleanup. Let me know when you need me for your next Ode to a Dead Guy. I probably beat sometime in my career. I would have done a talk back, but bleep that. Dump this, B. Blakemore. K. Patera.
K. Patera. Yeah, it's... Well, I assume records in baseball tend to be kept for everything, right? So, are we already... Is this at the trade deadline? Have the Twins already shattered their own record for number of players traded away? I have to believe they've reached it. Maybe it's a Major League Baseball record, too. But it's certainly got to be the Twins record, right? Because we have dumped before, but I don't think we've ever dumped on this level. I just looked it up. The remaining payroll for your Minnesota Twins adds up to $9 million. $9 million left in payroll for... People think I'm kidding about playing in St. Paul. I'm not. That's what this franchise is worthy of right now. And that's no offense to CHS, a fine ballpark.
It's a great ballpark.
Yeah.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
You know who's not devastated that they made all these trades? For sure.
Who's that?
Jay Polat. We know that, right?
Right.
They're not devastated in any way, shape, or form. There was, because the idea that they might get on the phone and say, wait a minute, how far are we going to go with this thing? How many guys are we going to trade? They're loving it. They're loving every minute of that part of it. Jay Ryan has no problem with stripping this thing down. Is it to the studs? Is that the expression?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people want it. They're saying, well, why not? If we're gonna trade everybody away, why haven't we stripped it down and gotten rid of Rocco? I think you're missing the forest for the trees, but go ahead.
No Joe Ryan deal yet.
There's time.
I know. After every letter, I'm just going to give an update.
What about, who's the other reliever?
Griffin Jacks.
What about Jacks?
Haven't seen him either.
Okay.
Dear Dr. Dan, even though I was only in your fine state for a relatively short time, I know it felt like a lifetime for many Twins fans. I'm truly sorry about that. I should have been better. And I let you know that at the time. And at the time. And time again. You may remember that about me. I was a stand-up guy. I don't think I should have to apologize for that, but I will. I'm sorry. I've been watching from afar, Dr. Dan. I have to tell you, I was relieved when C. Paddock was moved on to the Tigers. He was reliving my legacy a little too closely. I hear they call him Cowboy, so it should come as no surprise that he holds himself accountable. The reason I'm happy the Twins traded C. Paddock was that he was within a couple pelfs of my all-time Twins record. That was a close one. Which, Dr. Dan, which Twins pitcher do you think is the best prospect to someday threaten my suddenly safe record of holding myself accountable? Your old friend, M. Pelfrey.
Is it possible that the Twins are making these moves and saving money in doing so to answer the cry from the aforementioned C. Paddock and improve the kitchen? Because among the things that C. Paddock has already determined is better with the Tigers than with the Twins, apparently, is the kitchen.
We got to find out about this kitchen.
Maybe we got to enhance our kitchen. What the hell's in the Tigers' kitchen that makes it so special? Have you ever had to go to a clubhouse after a game in like any of your intern guardsy days or anything?
Yes. I've been in the Target Field clubhouse a lot.
Oh, you have?
Believe it or not,
See,
yeah.
I don't even know if the Target Field clubhouse had the same setup that like certainly for visiting teams after the game, one of the hardest parts of the job for Dr. Dan, if it was in the visiting locker room, was not trying to steal from the post-game buffet.
I know.
And it was just...
You're right.
It was just pounds and pounds of, like, beef stroganoff, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, all the comfort foods that I assume nobody in baseball is allowed to eat anymore.
Right. It's mostly kale now and other greens. It's got to be
kale and bark and things like that.
Salmon.
Oh, it was tempting. It was like, this stuff looks tremendous.
Yeah.
Did you ever, come on, be honest, you ever sneak a little taste?
No. Now, at Target Field, I think they have a separate room for all of that.
That's true.
Like, at the Dome, everything was right there. Because I remember, like, watching Jeets and A-Rod go through it at the Dome. And then, you know, what they all do is they always tip the clubhouse guys. That was kind of cool. That was something I never would have thought of.
Correct.
You know, they brought the food or had the food, and so they were always tipping those guys and gals. But I don't remember the feed bag at Target Field. I think that was in a separate room because that was part of the problem when the ballpark opened. The players could hang out in that room and not the actual clubhouse locker room, and then you couldn't talk to them, right? So that always made it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, the feed bag always looks good. And it was always in like those aluminum containers.
That's exactly what, so it's like in just massive
like you're
quantities.
In a church basement.
Just incredibly irresponsible eating at 11 o'clock at night when you're going to go to the hotel with a bucket in your gut after you just gorge yourself. But that was a different baseball era.
It's time for
Gone but not forgotten, that's for sure.
Inbox.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, when are the Twins going to learn you don't lower expectations going into the season and then underperform them? They need to pay attention to the other nearby franchises and learn how it's done. Pardon my whispering. But last year, a certain team lowered expectations by starting S. Darnold and then proceeded to be one of the top teams in their league. This year, I mean that team, are lowering the expectations of the offense in training camp by having the defense dominate the first-year QB and have him struggle. Let's face it, the expectations on the new QB were reaching Messiah level. He would have had to go better than 12-5 for me, I mean the coach, to get the recognition deserved. Some teams play ball while some collaborative cultures play advanced chess. This will be my best year yet of exceeding expectations after lowering them. Your coach of the year, 24-25, Kay O'Connell.
Well, is Kay O'Connell, has anybody done an intervention or checked on him? Because based on what the Jackals have said, his offense doesn't exist right now. His offense has been utterly and completely humiliated by maybe the best NFC North defense since the 85 Bears. When I think it was the NFC Central, I'm not sure. By the way, Cubs, we're in the Willie Castro deal. What do we always say about what rules in Major League Baseball, even in the new era? Pitching, pitching, pitching. 2 AA pitchers, Ryan Gallagher and Sam Armstrong, is who we're getting in return for Willie Castro. Does that excite you? I'm assuming they're probably not top 10 prospects.
Right.
If you care about that sort of thing.
I don't.
But more pitching. I got no problem with that. Do you?
No, that's fine. Throw them in there. Get as many pitchers as you can. You mentioned the 85 Bears.
Mm-hmm. way, ESPN's giving the Astros letter grade B on the Correa deal. Twins to be determined.
Oh.
Because they don't know about it. Oh, no, not got updated. Oh, no, this is a different deal. We got a... No, well, now it's an overall letter grade, I guess. The trades of Correa, Duran, and Bader. Hard to argue against the decision to trade away these guys with a 51-57 record, but this feels like a setback. So they end up with a grade C overall, apparently. I thought they were evaluating them individually. I'm all confused. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress.
Dear Dr. Dan, we've heard promising reports of the M Vikings dominating D after a few days of training camp. While we really like B Flores and appreciate a smothering defense as much as anyone, don't confuse this team with ours quite yet. M Singletary, D Hampton, R Dent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best defense I ever saw. With all due respect to Brian Billick, who, of course, thinks the year he won the Super Bowl,
2000 Ravens
defense was better. I'm encouraged because it was a good defense a year ago. Until it wasn't, by the way. It was not a good defense against the Rams. And they've added more beef to the defensive front, which is exactly what they needed. They were top 5. Here's what I want to see. Dr. Dan wants to see not just top 5 in points allowed. I want to see us top 5 to 10 in yardage, because you can believe in bend but don't break. But in truth, there's times where you give up the number of yards. The Vikings were last year, I think, 15 or 16 in the league in total defense. And again, it's more about points than yardage if you believe in bend don't break. But guess what? There's times that seems to indicate you can't get the ball as often as you're supposed to get the ball to give it back to your offense. So I'm going to have to see a little bit more domination there, and maybe we're going to. I'm still not convinced about our cornerbacks. I have to see a lot more there to be sure. I think when it comes to, our front 7, I feel Dr. Dan feels very good that we have a chance to be very outstanding in that regard. But as Denny Green once said, the proof is going to be in the pudding.
It's time for
Try to sneak in a couple of more here. Got a lot that aren't going to make it. Appreciate everybody writing in.
We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, sounds like we have a fact versus fiction situation on our hands. I hear you are spreading rumors that I am making exorbitant demands on my contract negotiations with C. Abbott and G. Swedberg. Just because I showed up to the meeting with them wearing a Pay Me What You Owe Me t-shirt doesn't mean that I'm being unreasonable.
Is you sure this isn't C. Gerbschmidt?
It's not like Lunchbox has to hover over the dump button for me like Kay Patera.
No.
I'm sure KFAN will be paying to treat B. Blakemore's PTSD for years. All I do is come on the show and offer wholesome and interesting content, and this is how you treat me. Dr. Dan, I'm not hurt, but I am disappointed. And if you think that dinner invitation and tour of the W. Churchill Room still stands, I have one question for you, and I should have had this button ready because we have too many button bar pages. Probably time to clean it all up.
Are you nuts?
Sincerely, G. Mason.
Yeah, well, Dr. Dan does not believe he embellished any of what tends to be the negotiations. I can't say the word.
Negotiations.
I can't. I'll let you say it. Sessions that a C. Abbott despises the worst every fall. So that's not fiction. That's just fact. And as a result, I'm pleasantly surprised that it looks like things are this time coming together. But it's the great irony about G. Mason that there may not be, despite his reputation, a more H maintenance guy than among all the fan regulars in the history of this station or the history of this radio show. He may well be at the top of the list. I'll say again. Let's remember this. I'll narrow it down to this. Once upon a time, we regularly had at the Great Minnesota Get Together an on-location guest by the name of Alan Page, who found his way not only to the fair, but to our location. Asked for nothing. G. Mason has asked for parking Free ticket.
Or ride a lot of times.
Libation and ride. Which one of those two, the, I think, greatest defensive player in the history of the Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Supreme Court Justice, or a football coach can be classified as higher maintenance?
Mace in your face.
Oh, this year should be good.
Am I wrong?
You're not totally wrong.
Not wrong.
No. You're wrong. I'm just going to read a couple of these. Chime in if you want. Dear Dr. Dan, as you know, football rules this town. We couldn't help but notice what the shiny new quarterback mentioned earlier today about focusing his efforts on improving 2% each day. Very inspiring. It really got us thinking. After a highly contentious family meeting earlier over some delightful avocado toast, we've decided that giving zero effort in our business is no longer sustainable. It was almost unanimously voted that starting in 2026, we will increase our effort each year by an additional 2%. To wrap this up, I will quote another one of our town's former quarterbacks. It's not what the 2% effort, it's what the 2% effort represents. This from all the poll ads. Dear Dr. Dan, our previous shortstop may have had Dior quality defense, but his hitting wasn't even worth $50 in Kohl's cash. What more is there to say? Oh, we're also offering $50 in Kohl's cash with every Twins ticket increase attendance this year. That from Jay Polad. And let's do this one, the last one. Dear Dr. Dan, listening to you today, he wants to have me fired. What have I ever done to him? I have never heard him go after Goldie or Crunch before on his show. I have actually had a better year than C. Correa. That from T.C. Bear.
He's got a better WAR. T.C. Bear's got a better win above replacement than Carlos Correa this year. By definition, he has to. 0.1. Can you have a lower? Well, I guess can you have a negative WAR? You can be, I guess, technically. That's true.
I have a dozen letters that we didn't get to, and for that, I apologize. Thanks, everybody, for contributing today.
Yes.
We knew it was going to be a fertile environment, and it was.
You know who's going to contribute next? It's Emergency Bonus Lavelle E. Neal III. We'll try to go through all the trades. If you're just joining us or you haven't been paying attention to just how busy the Twins have been as we approach deadline in less than a single minute, and we'll get his reaction to all of it. That's coming up next here in The Fan. Lavelle.